Greg Boswell has had a truly insane start to the winter season with a back-to-back trio of cutting-edge routes. He kicked things off with Guy Robertson climbing the Nihilist over at Lochnagar at the grade of 9.9, and followed that up with the Vortex at Culmore, again climbed with Guy Robertson at the grade of 10.10. However, both have been eclipsed with his first ascent of Bring de Ruckus at Lochnagar at the almighty grade of 12.13. This is the third grade 12, or at least it's the third that I can remember. The first of which were Dave McLeod's Anubis, which climbed his summer E8, which Greg has also repeated. The second was Greg's very own Banana Wall in Corrian in the northern corries of Cairngorms. And this is the third. However, it's the first to have had a tech grade of 13, so it has the hardest moves of any of those other routes. As always, Greg climbed the route in impressive style with a ground-up approach. He took 2 falls on the monster roof, eventually managing to get through on his third go, and the video of it has to be seen to be believed. This is absolutely cutting-edge mixed climbing in a Scottish winter environment. However, the fun didn't stop there, with a challenging head wall above in full-on winter condition and a stopper move right at the top that nearly saw Greg fall at the 11th hour. Greg had this to say: "After 2 all-out battles with the huge roof, and some moves of a difficulty that I've never come across in Scotland, I eventually found myself on the head wall on my 3rd attempt of the day. Surprisingly though, the climb didn't let up, and it was a painstaking battle, including a last move which I very nearly messed up, a sting in the tail. It was awesome to get on something of this difficulty without knowing anything about what was above. Climbing the route ground up and swinging through the roof on blind, scrittly pick placements, not knowing remotely what was above, was a real mental battle. As I belayed Jamie and Hamish up the pitch, we were listening to the sound of avalanches ripping down the corrie to either side of us. The sustained nature of this route and the power-packed and the blind crux roof puts it above every other high-grade route I've climbed in Scotland. The grade range is very open to suggestion in the upper reaches of the Scottish mixed climbing world, as there are very few other hard routes, and it's all down to personal experience. Plus the style in which we approach the climbs has a huge effect on the grade. Until people repeat these routes, it's all a bit of a guess. For those who don't know much about Scottish winter grading, it's a little bit like the British trad grading system, insofar as if you know what it means, it makes perfect sense, and if you don't, it makes no sense whatsoever. But the initial Roman numeral, so that's the 12 in this case, indicates the overall difficulty of the route, and the second part, the technical grade, indicates the hardest moves on the route. Now, one of the other peculiarities of Scottish winter climbing is what is deemed as in condition. And historically, this has meant that the rock is covered in rime, so it's all white. However, on Bring de Ruckus, the roof is so big, and as a result, the rock underneath so sheltered, it's very difficult, potentially even impossible, for it to become rimed up. So there has been some commentary that it wasn't white. Now, this is a really difficult area because we are at the absolute cutting edge of Scottish winter climbing here. UK climbing's perspective, and the perspective of the vast majority of people posting on our forums, is that the route is in, without doubt, full-on winter conditions. Just look at the photograph, look at the head wall. The roof section itself may be a little black, but the rest of the route is undeniably full-on winter. And Greg himself is someone who has absolutely championed things being in as full-on winter conditions as possible, as proved by the fact that when he chose to repeat Dave McLeod's Anubis, he chose to do so in absolute all-out winter conditions with the route as rimed up as it could ever possibly be. Basically, Greg's the man, and he is known for doing things in exceptional style, and this is no exception to that. But it does raise interesting questions about the future of Scottish winter climbing, particularly at the cutting edge. Because if these large expanses of overhanging rock, which don't rime up, are a no-go zone, where does the future lie for the sport? This is very different to outright dry tooling on clean and dry rock. I mean, just look at the photo once again. It's winter. It's absolutely full-on winter. I, for one, am just looking forward to seeing what Greg has in store for the rest of the season, and fingers crossed we get some good conditions, because if we do, there are more cutting-edge ascents coming.